A todos, las gracias por estar con nosotros. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. What a wonderful way to start our session with beautiful music. Muy bonita la música, celebrando el mes de Latinx o Latinx, Latinos. Muchas gracias. Thank you. Great way to start our session with wonderful music. Perfect for celebrating our Latinx heritage. Thank you. So we're going to get started. So welcome everybody. Next slide. So thank you all for being here this afternoon. Once again, welcome to Local District Central's virtual town hall for the MacArthur Park Community of Schools. Before starting our session, I want to inform you that this town hall will be presented in English and will have simultaneous Spanish interpretation. To listen to this presentation in Spanish, you would need to click on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen and select the language preference for you. You will engage and listen to the presentation in the language you select. If your device does not support interpretation, sometimes our Chromebooks do not support interpretation. You may download the Zoom app so you can have access to the interpretation feature. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Una vez más, bienvenidos a este foro comunitario de la comunidad de escuelas MacArthur Park. Me da mucho orgullo estar aquí con ustedes. Antes de comenzar nuestra sesión, quiero informarles que este foro comunitario se presentará en inglés y tendrá interpretación simultánea en español. Para escuchar esta presentación en español, deberá hacer clic en el icono del globo en la parte inferior de la pantalla y seleccionar el idioma que prefiera. Participará y escuchará la presentación en el idioma que seleccione. Si su dispositivo no admite interpretación, algunos Chromebooks no tienen esa manera de conectar, puede bajar la aplicación Zoom para poder escuchar en español. Next slide. So as you see here, we will be participating in a webinar session. If you would like to pose questions during this session, please go ahead and pose your questions on the Q&A. We will have our panelists answer as many questions as they can during the presentation. And also we'll have some space at the end of the meeting as time allows to answer additional questions. We have panelists here ready to support you. And so with that, I just also want to inform you that this video session is being recorded live on YouTube. And also this video will be uploaded into the Community Schools website. And now we're going to begin. I'd like to introduce our fearless leader, our local district central superintendent, Mrs. Frances Baez. Ms. Baez, welcome.
Thank you very much, Ms. Arreguin. It is such a pleasure to be here with everyone today. My name is Frances Baez, Superintendent in Local District Central, the home of the champions. Here to welcome everybody to the MacArthur Park Community of Schools, led by Dr. Smith. So proud of his leadership as he leads achievement of over 10,000 students in his community of schools. He is working very closely with the team to ensure that our schools, our administrators, our teachers, our staff have all that they need to bring quality learning to the students in this community with a very tailored and personalized approach. So personalized that he has invited school principals here to this town hall so that you meet them. With that said, I just want to remind you that in Local District Central, we're leading with 3 themes. It's innovation and acceleration, transformation, and equity. We're doing everything with an equity lens and leveraging the money, the investments in our local district, in this community of schools to transform our schools into classrooms that are welcoming, loving places for our students. And every single day we work hard. And every single day we work hard to overcome the challenges and the barriers and the problems that we face. It's not 100%, but every day that is our mission, to make sure that our schools are safe, loving, welcoming climates for our students, and that we have high expectations for all of our students to achieve. And it is with that value system in place that we lead with determination. We've been in classrooms visiting students and seeing how they're learning, and students are so happy to be in their classrooms. We're seeing the connection between the teachers and their students. And with that said, this is the optimum learning conditions. So we want to make sure that our students get vaccinated. So all that are eligible, go out there and get vaccinated so that we can continue to learn and to thrive in a safe environment. Without further ado, now it is my great pleasure to introduce a policy leader who's here, who's always working to ensure that our students have all that they need and breaking down the barriers to student achievement. It's my pleasure to introduce Ms. Monica Garcia, Board Representative from Board District 2. Welcome.
Thank you, Superintendent Baez. Buenas tardes. Good afternoon to all of our community members joining us today. I want to thank you for your continued work to support our children and families. And I know that in this community that I call the cradle of reform, there has been just all hands on deck to meet the needs of our students, our schools, and our staff. So thank you for your presence and your work. Second, I need to underscore what Superintendent Baez just said. She reminds us that we have to embrace joyful disruptions in our world. And to me, that means let's call on everybody, to those who can be vaccinated, to get vaccinated. Every employee at LA Unified must be vaccinated by October 15th. And so I just want to remind you that if you're a young person, 12 and older, and you're playing on an extracurricular team, cheer, drill, dance, any sport, we're asking you to take the lead and make sure your team is safe by you getting vaccinated. And so the time is now. There are deadlines coming up, but really, if we can all ask our questions, look for that clinic, look for that doctor's office, look for that campus. We have mobile vaccination sites. And I just implore this community of MacArthur Park in particular, you have led the way on so much. We need you to have conversations and to share the good news that vaccinations absolutely do protect. For those of us who can be vaccinated, we should be vaccinated. And I just want to again say, we're wanting to keep schools open. We want to keep our families safe and our children in school learning in person. And that is the energy behind this decision. So I'm not going to take more time to discuss that, but if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm going to put my name and address, email, phone number in the chat. I'm looking forward to graduation in 2022. I think we're down to 150 days. And I'm glad that we continue to set our sights on the learning that is taking place in this challenged time. Superintendent and team, Dr. Smith, all of our administration and school leadership, thank you for leading, and we are here to support. Adelante.
Thank you very much, Board Member Garcia. And absolutely, you set the conditions and the climate and the policy to help us to focus in this way and work relentlessly to ensure that our students get a quality education in their neighborhood school. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce a fearless leader, a warm demander, a social justice equity warrior, Dr. Smith, who leads the MacArthur Park Community School. The floor is yours. Have a successful town hall.
Thank you, Superintendent Baez. Thank you, Board Member Monica Garcia. We really appreciate your presence this evening and your ultimate leadership. Good evening and welcome to our September virtual town hall meeting. As I open the meeting tonight, I just want to take a moment to thank each of you for your collaborative efforts in supporting the first 5 weeks of school. This year's opening was definitely unique, and it brought on its own unique set of challenges. However, our school principals, school leaders, staff, students, parents continue to remain steadfast to the goal of opening safely and successfully. And I thank you, as we all know the benefits of in-person learning. As we continue to move forward, I would like to continue to encourage all eligible students 12 years or older, as Board Member Monica Garcia mentioned and Superintendent Baez mentioned, to get vaccinated as we continue to support safe schools. Please feel free to reach out to your school staff or myself for any questions you may have. This year, our teachers and school communities will continue cultivating warm, inviting educational spaces for all of our students and families. We know and believe that through strong, genuine relationships, our students will be able to better maximize their full potential. This month, I ask that you join me in recognizing and celebrating the achievements and contributions of Latino, Latina, Latinx, and Hispanic American champions who have used their individual and collective talents to inspire and create change. Please mark your calendar and join us for one of the several town hall meetings in our Latinx series. Again, I thank you for joining us, and I hope the information shared tonight will be informative and useful to each of you. Next slide. Our agenda this evening is centered on three areas, three buckets. We will highlight our return to school and share some student experiences, and you have the opportunity to meet three of our recently welcomed principals to the MacArthur Park Communities of Schools. I will share information regarding our vaccination process for everyone 12 and older, and seek your support and perspective as we look for our next superintendent of LA Unified. Lastly, we will share some resources that are useful to support our mental health and wellness. Next slide. Now, let's begin our evening with hearing from some students at our schools, at the School of Justice at Miguel Contreras. Please show the video.
I'd say so far it's been pretty good. I like it so far. My ninth grade was just as fun. As of right now, it's extremely fun. Get to chill with my friends, get to do classwork. I really like it so far.
A recent highlight that I've had recently since the school has started was our volleyball pep rally. It was fun. Got to play versus the teachers, and we saw everybody play. It was just overall welcoming event.
I'm just glad we have senior year back. I'm glad we have sports again. I hope we win league champs, we go to playoffs. I honestly really want to graduate, go to college, maybe play a sport for them. If not possible, at least go to a good college. But
I'm looking forward to spending time with you guys, all our friend group, because it's our last year together before we go off to college. So, I'd say I like right now about being back in person is it's a lot easier for me to focus, because when I'm in person, I feel like the teachers I just feel like I have to focus more. I feel like I have to do my work, pay attention, not talk as much. I would say I miss being able to sleep and just being able to not have to wear a mask, because sometimes it hurts back in my ears. But other than that, pretty good so far.
Good evening. We want to thank you again to the students of Miguel Contreras School of Social Justice for those awesome words. We wish all our students a wonderful school year this year. My name is Trisha Lutero Ferris, and I am the SOS advisor for MacArthur Park Community of Schools. In celebration of student voice and our diverse culture at Mac Park, we would like to celebrate our Latinx Heritage Month by introducing a few powerful books. And these books are a testimony to the grit and sacrifice of our immigrant families. You can read these books to your own children and to the children in your classroom. The Los Angeles Unified Board of Education unanimously approved and co-sponsored promoting Latinx Heritage Month from September 15th to October 15th. With nearly 74% of Los Angeles Unified student population characterizing themselves as Latinx and 60.6 million people in the United States identifying as Latinx, this month is a time to honor the spirit and struggle for self-determination of the Latinx community. By adopting this resolution, the Los Angeles Unified Board of Education and Superintendent encourage all students, faculty and administrators, and parents to commemorate the historic, influential, and cultural contributions of the Latinx throughout the United States. So according to Board Member Garcia, the third Latina elected to the Board of Education in its 155-year history, the time of reflection and celebration allows us to pay tribute to our beautiful culture, made up of diverse experiences, fluorescent colors, spicy and flavorful dishes, rich music, and a love for learning, and so much more. We hope you enjoy our book recommendations for you and your family and your students. So the first book we want to introduce is The Life of Evelyn Cisneros, who is the first Mexican-American prima ballerina in the United States. The book takes center stage, she takes center stage in this book. Despite growing up shy, this ballerina managed to overcome her anxiety and fall in love with the beautiful art of ballet. She'll dance her way through the years at the beloved and renowned San Francisco Ballet. Your little one and your students will have the same conviction as Evelyn. The next slide, please. The second book we want to introduce is The Distance Between Us by Reina Grande. When her parents crossed the border illegally in search of the American dream, Reina and her siblings are forced to live with their grandmother until her family can once again be united. Things do not go as planned, as Reina must prepare herself to go to the US and live with a man who has captivated her imagination for years, her absentee father. This memoir shows what it's like to try and assimilate to a new culture, new language, and new family dynamic. And finally, we have a book entitled I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica Sanchez. Both Erica Sanchez and Julia suffered from depression, which unfortunately still carries a stigma in so many communities. For this reason, she was determined to raise awareness about it through her literary work. I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter addresses the issues of suicide in young Latinas. We want to thank you again for celebrating Latinx Heritage Month with us at MacArthur Park. I'm going to return the floor back to Dr. Charles Smith. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ferris, for celebrating our books and sharing our books with our communities and our families. Within the MacArthur Park community, we have the opportunity of working alongside some passionate leaders. This year, we had the opportunity to welcome 3 new principals to our community. Dr. Nornisa Cuban at McAllister High School, Ms. Susan Sanchez Ramirez at Lake Street, and Mr. Armando Valadez at Lafayette Park. I would like to give each of them an opportunity to introduce themselves and share a little bit about their schools. Please welcome Dr. Nornisa Cuban.
Thank you very much, Dr. Smith, for the wonderful introduction. And thank you everyone for having me. Good evening. And thank you for having me and providing me the opportunity to talk about our school and share the wonderful work that our teachers, our support staff, our local district personnel, and our partners providing for our students. My name is Nunisa Kurban. I am the proud new principal of McAllister High School. Our school is a part of the Los Angeles Unified School District Educational Option Division. We are a credit recovery dropout prevention program for pregnant and parenting minors. And we serve students from schools within LAUSD, charter schools, and surrounding communities at its different sites. As you can see from the slide, we have 3 different sites. 3 different sites, Southwest, Central, and San Fernando. And the 2 sites are located throughout the greater Los Angeles area, which includes the metropolitan city of Los Angeles. And the other site is located in San Fernando Valley. And I'm so proud to say MacArthur family is dedicated to providing physically and emotionally safe environment for our students, while ensuring a rigorous academic curriculum to prepare them the college and beyond. It is also a place and community hub where our students have access to community and career resources, mentorship programs, dual enrollment for community colleges, and career resources, and which is resulting in empowering students who continue to become strong and resilient and successful young women. And we are continuing to expand our partnerships and resources to support our students overcome their challenges due to the pandemic. Right now, we're in the process of reaching out to our partnerships and the community resources to even so support our students during the transition. So please feel free to contact us if you want to get more information or get involved in our project or provide any kind of support. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Dr. Kuban. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for representing, and thank you for being willing to lead in a time such as this. Next slide, please. At this time, I would like to introduce our new principal at Lake Street Primary Center, Ms. Susan Sanchez Ramirez. The floor is yours. Please join me. Ms. Ramirez?
I'm sorry, I was speaking and I forgot to unmute myself. Thank you again, Dr. Smith, for inviting me and having me here. And to all of the MacArthur Park families, it is a pleasure to meet you here through Zoom. Thank you for having me here. Next slide, please. So just a little bit about me. So I was a student with LAUSD, a teacher leader, an administrator within LAUSD, as most recently within MacArthur Park and as an assistant principal at 10th Street Elementary School. And now I am very happy to serve as your principal at Lake Street Primary Center. Next slide, please. So a little bit about our school vision. We want to make sure that, most importantly, that our students, because this is where we are starting with preschool, with kindergarten, with first grade, that our students have an empowering foundation where they are able to make choices of their own learning, and at the same time, being able to obtain 21st century skills. Una de las cosas, ahora voy a hablar en español. So, nomás les quiero hablar acerca de nuestra visión. La cosa muy importante para nosotros y para mí como la directora de Lake Street es poder darle una fundación a nuestros niños donde ellos toman el tiempo y pueden aprender y hacer sus decisiones acerca de aprender, porque empezamos tempranos con la escuela preescolar, kinder, primero, so queremos darle esas oportunidades y esos fundación para poder entrar al siglo XXI y para ser ciudadanos de este nuevo siglo. Next slide. Our mission, again, so we want to make sure that our students have these opportunities to excel academically, focusing on the foundations with early literacy, with math. We want to make sure that our students become critical thinkers as they are entering school with us, and most importantly, have opportunities to collaborate, not just with themselves, but with their grade level. So even during the pandemic, we want to make sure that our students are, keeping safe, but have these opportunities to collaborate with one another when the opportunity permits. So nuestra misión de la escuela es, obviamente, queremos que los niños se destaquen académicamente, dándoles ese fundación en literatura, en matemáticas, que sean pensadores críticos en en sus materias que ellos hacen e inicien, y más que nada que tengan las oportunidades de colaborar con cada uno de ellos. Aunque estemos en pandemia, pero con protocolos, con seguridad, con distancia social, tengan esas oportunidades de colaborar con cada uno de ellos, de los niños del grado. Next slide. And most importantly, our commitment to our Lake Street Primary Center students and their families. We want to make sure that your experiences with us are memorable, both for students and for families. And like we said, we want to make sure that we prepare our students to be rereaders by the end of first grade. So, para nuestro compromiso con ustedes, con la comunidad de Lake Street Primary Center, es, como le digo, tener experiencias memorables, no para nuestros alumnos, pero también para nuestras familias que se ingresan y que ay, ya se me fue la palabra, pero que vienen cada día con sus niños, que nos tienen esa confianza que estamos haciendo juntos. Les agradezco eso, la confianza es la palabra que estaba buscando. Y más que nada, nuestro compromiso es asegurarnos de que los niños que cuando terminen con nosotros para el primer grado, ellos tengan esa fundación para ser lectores que les van a ayudar en su educación futura. So, thank you very much for having me, Dr. Smith. Muchas gracias, Dr. Smith. And we hope that we have the opportunity to continue to share what the great things that we are doing at Lake Street Primary Center with you and with MacArthur Park in the future.
Thank you for joining us again, and congratulations on your next chapter of your leadership career. At this time, I would like to introduce our third and final principal this evening, Mr. Armando Valadez. The floor is yours.
Hello, MacArthur Park families. It is a pleasure and an honor to be here with you guys today. My name is Armando Valadez. I am the new principal at Lafayette Park Primary Center. A little bit about myself. I worked as a paraprofessional, teacher, Title III instructional coach, and most recently as an assistant principal. I am also an LAUSD product. I was born and raised in East Los Angeles, and I am extremely happy to start a new chapter in my career, leading Lafayette Park Primary Center. Our mission is to create a learning community where we focus on connecting, collaborating, and engaging in strategies to help our students learn. Our school vision is to provide a safe and compassionate learning environment for our students to thrive and become lifelong learners. I also want to share with you guys, families, if you guys have any state preschool students, any 3-4-year-olds, any transitional kinder students, or any kinder students, please reach out to us. We are still enrolling students. I hope to continue working with you guys throughout the year. It is a pleasure for me to be here with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Valadez. You have met our three newest principals, and I'm so excited for their work and the accomplishments they will make this year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As you know, safety continues to be the district's top priority. We are working closely with our public health departments and county and state level, and will continue to adjust as testing frequency and requirements as needed in the way that helps keep our students and staff as safe as possible. We are watching things closely, and things are changing every day. Please know the district continues to be committed to ensuring safety for everyone on our campuses. Next slide. At this time, I would like to share a brief message from our state superintendent, Tony Thurman. Please enjoy. It looks like we're having technical difficulties.
Superintendent of Public Instruction. Tony Thurman here. As California State Superintendent of Public Instruction, I get to work to make sure our 6 million students get a great education. I want to say to you all, go out and get your vaccine to help keep us all safe. Vaccines are now available for anybody age 12 and older. So go out and get a vaccine. You know, one of the toughest parts of the coronavirus pandemic is that it's caused us at times to have to isolate from each other. We're not meant to be separated from each other. We're meant to be together. That's meant no handshakes, no hugs, no high fives. But when you get your vaccine, it's safe for you to be close to the people you love. So get your vaccine and give it back to your friends, your family, and your loved ones. Take it from me, my 2 teenage daughters, and millions of Californians who've already gotten a vaccine. Go on and get it. It's safe, it's easy, it's free, and it doesn't hurt. Get your vaccine today.
And as you see, our superintendent,
Everybody, Tony Thurman here.
Our board member and state superintendent, Tony Thurman, is concerned with safety of everyone. We want to encourage each of you to get your vaccine. The science is clear. Vaccinations are an essential part of protection against COVID-19. The district is continuing to work to support vaccination. The Los Angeles Unified School District Board of Education recently voted to require all eligible LA Unified students will need to be fully vaccinated prior to the start of spring 2022 semester. This means that students ages 12 and older will need proof of vaccination uploaded to the Daily Pass to attend school in person before Monday, January 10th, 2022, unless they have qualified exemptions. The district has hired, next slide. The district has hired partners and staff for the mobile vaccination teams and stationary sites. For general questions, contact the Family Hotline at 213-241-3840. Students are encouraged to make an appointment in advance through the Daily Pass app. The goal is to visit every middle and high school site and provide all eligible students with their vaccination. Next slide. For appointments, as you see here, please visit Daily Pass, that's dailypass.lausd.net. In the chat, you will find supporting documents that will assist you in scheduling your appointment. The documents you see here, we will place those icons in the chat for you so that you will have them as a reference. Some frequently asked questions. Will parent or guardian consent be required for children to get vaccinated? Yes, a signed consent is required, but the parent does not have to be present. Will the second dose be automatically scheduled? Yes, all students will be automatically scheduled for their second dose, and all parents will be emailed with that information. Are all students required to be vaccinated? The vaccine will be mandatory by January 10th, 2022 for all eligible LA Unified students. Next slide. Now, at this time, I would like to invite you to participate and support the LA Unified School District in its search for a new superintendent. The superintendent of schools oversees the LA Unified School District, which serves more than 500,000 students from preschools through adult education. In addition to managing the day-to-day needs of the district, the superintendent will lead the work to accomplish the board educational goals of college and career readiness, literacy, numeracy, and social and emotional wellness for all students. And we need your help. Please take a moment to take the survey to help the Board of Education make the best choice for our students and our community. The survey is 21 questions long, and it is anonymous, meaning no one will know who you are as you complete the survey. You may use the link or the QR code to complete the survey. If you put your phone up to the screen and click the QR code, the survey will come up for you. Give you a moment for those of you who are doing that. At this time, we would like to take a moment to share some beneficial resources for parents and families. I invite our TK through 12th grade instructional coordinator, Mr. Tim An, to join us. Tim, the floor is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for the introduction, Dr. Smith. So at this time, we would like to share some parent resources to really support you with your instruction, and also to support you how you could support your children with their mental health. So LAPL offers free tutoring program for our students. And the link, which I'm going to post here, is a great way for all our students to receive free resources for tutoring, and it's all subjects and all grades. Okay. At this time, I'm going to introduce Gisela Gutierrez, who's our mental health consultant, to really share more resources on how you could support your children in their mental health. Gisela, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Tim. Can you please go to the next slide? Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for attending. My name is Gisela Gutierrez, and I'm the mental health consultant for the MacArthur Park Community of Schools. I wanted to take this opportunity to inform our community that September is our Suicide Prevention Month. This is a nationally awareness campaign that is nationally promoted and celebrated, where the goal is to be able to increase awareness amongst all of our community stakeholders, especially our school settings. This year's theme, as you can see, is supportive transitions. Sorry, I'm trying to re-enter, reconnect, and rebuild. So transitions can be tough, and it's thought of, an event or series of events that can cause fundamental changes in normalcy, what people do, where they do it, and with whom. Major life changes have occurred as a result of this pandemic. And this in turn has impacted relationships and has become an environmental risk for suicide, depression, and anxiety. Positive coping skills, resilience, and connectedness to family, friends, and our community can act as protective factors to help us navigate transitions. Remember that all of us have a role in suicide prevention. Next slide. Constructive parenting is key during these times of transition, rebuilding, and reimagining. Many parents feel guilt, frustration, because they feel that they're not doing a good enough job. They feel that their parenting has maybe deteriorated, but I need to remind you all that you are in a time where you yourself are entitled to have a meltdown, where you yourself may be going through your own healing process as you have also endured this pandemic yourself. And so I wanted to just go over some constructive parenting tips of how to be able to parent during a pandemic. First and foremost, we want to make sure that you are engaging in your own self-care. Before you're able to take care of your kids, you must care for yourself. If you are not okay, if your bucket is not filled, then you will have nothing to give to your children. So make sure that you're engaging in anything that you can find pleasurable for yourself and that can help you disconnect from your daily chores and activities or responsibilities. The next tip, dialogue. This is such an important piece when it comes to parenting, especially during these times of transition. Many of your kids are now transitioning back and re-entering into our school sites, going to learn in person, stepping away from their homes after 16 months of quarantine. An open level of communication is very important for you to maintain with your children, asking them how do they feel, showing them affection, showing them that you understand, showing them that you want to learn about what their daily lives struggles and strengths are as they're learning and as they're confronting and facing all of these different transitions. Creating a routine is very important as well. Just like you possibly created a routine when you had your children learning in your homes, now you have to recreate that routine where you can incorporate in-person learning as they're going to school, coming back home and figuring out maybe a space where they can study or a time where they can set aside to take a break and spend family and quality time with you. Maybe it means that you engage in some physical activity, going outdoors, taking a walk, maybe just doing something that will allow them to release some of those stress hormones and stimulate that serotonin to get their mood and their feelings more upbeat, more energized. And last but not least, connection is of vital importance. Our teachers and our staff in our schools are really striving to be able to connect with all of our students and let them feel that they have a home away from home. So when they are with you, make sure that you're connecting. Sometimes our time is limited. Understandably so, many of you may work or you have your daily chores that you have to attend to. But it's so important that you set some time to simply have a conversation with your kids, to open those channels of communication and really create some of that quality time as your children are transitioning and as you're all still enduring this pandemic. The main goal is for your kids to come out physically and emotionally healthy, not to have perfect behavior. I also want to make sure that you understand that if you have a meltdown, that's okay, mom and dad. That is understandable. You are also human and you're also entitled to your feelings. Just make sure that when that happens, you engage in any of these constructive parenting tips so that you can recover and restore your relationship with your children. Next slide. I want to make sure that you also know and you're informed that in our schools, we are very blessed to have many resources of which are able to provide various supports, particularly with mental health and the social and emotional well-being of your children. You can definitely speak with your child's teacher. You can speak to a psychiatric social worker, also known as PSW, pupil services and attendance counselor, also known as PSAC, and or your administrator, if you have any concerns about your children's mental health and well-being. There is also a hotline, the Family Wellness Hotline, which you will find here on the image below. And this hotline functions on a daily basis from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and where they are able to connect you to a variety of resources and services that you may need for you and your family. Next slide. And I wanted to take this chance just to show you some pictures of how our amazing psychiatric social workers and teams are promoting and creating awareness on suicide prevention in our schools here at MacArthur Park Community of Schools. Here we have Tania Contreras Ruiz, our psychiatric social worker at Lakeview Middle School, along with our climate advocate, who are teaching every single student on suicide, warning signs, how to seek help, and how to help a friend. They literally presented this presentation to every single student at Lakeview Middle School. They also held a luncheon activity where they were able to engage students. Here we have the Miguel Contreras Learning Complex psychiatric social worker team, Marisol Alvarez for ALC and Marta Melendres, PSW at LASGS, where they engage students in a reflection, engaging activity during lunch, having students identify the positive aspects that they are able to embrace and appreciate in their lives. Next slide. Here we have the Lakeview Middle School PSW and the Student Health and Human Services team, along with Dr. Murray, one of their amazing assistant principals. And they are all working diligently in engaging your students and your children and being able to become more informed about Suicide Prevention Week. Next slide. This is a newsletter that was created by our amazing psychiatric social worker at MacArthur Park VPA. And this was a newsletter provided to staff so that staff can also be aware of the warning signs and be aware of the services and the supports available to their students. Next slide. Same PSW also provided professional development to the teachers and staff at MacArthur Park so that they can have a better guide of how to better support their students and how to be able to also identify the needs in their students who may be facing the challenge of suicidal ideation. Next slide. And last but not least, we have this amazing infographic that our PSW Jeanette Guerra created at Charles White Elementary, where she is trying to educate our very youngins and our young children, parents and staff on how to be able to just take care of their mental health on a daily basis, giving ideas for parents to practice with their kids and for teachers to also implement in their classroom. And this will be an infographic that she will actually be sending out this week to all of you parents. I know that there's some Charles White parents here, so just wanted to let you know you will be receiving this with your children this week. If you would like, I invite you to please take a picture of this screen. These are resources for your children and adolescents when it comes to just having a space for children to call, chat, or text if they need someone to talk to. I would recommend parents, if you take a screenshot, just to take it and text it to your children and tell them, keep this picture. If you or a friend need help or need to speak to someone and you're not comfortable coming to me, these are other avenues of places that you can go and get support. It's really important that we encourage our children not only to seek help for themselves, but to help their friends as well. And next slide. And last but not least, I would like to invite you, my colleagues, the other mental health consultants for the other community of schools and myself will be providing a parent workshop on September 29th, discussing the warning signs of self-injury and suicide. And so we would love to invite and hope that all of you parents can join us on September 29th. We will be having 2 sessions, one at 9 a.m. and the second one at 3 p.m. I will like to say that I do apologize. The webinar link will have to be changed, but we will make sure to put an updated version of this flyer on the website for the MacArthur Park Community of Schools. And now I will pass it on back to Dr. Smith. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mrs. Gutierrez. I really appreciate your presentation and all of the information shared this evening. At this time, we will take any questions that you may have. We have a team of panelists here to respond to all of the various questions that our community may have. Ms. Gonzalez, do you have any questions for us this evening?
Yes, hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining the town hall tonight. And I'm happy to say that there are not a tremendous amount of questions for you, Dr. Smith, but how about, could we review again the vaccine sites and when that would be available for families?
Awesome, thank you. We do have our operations coordinators available with us this evening to respond to that question. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Tony Cortez. Mr. Cortez, can you join us, please?
Good evening. So we have many vaccination sites. What I will do is I will, in just a minute or two, put the website on the chat because we do have a mobile vaccination clinic coming to all of our secondary schools. And we want to share that information with you where you can print it or look at it and have that information at your fingertips. So I'm going to put it in the chat.
Thank you, Mr. Cortez. But please know, families, the mobile site for our school communities of schools will be at Lethe Middle School. They have traveled there already for vaccinations. There will be a travel team that will visit Miguel Contreras Complex. Those are our 2 facilities where our high school students and our middle school students are. So they will be there. So please contact your school, and Mr. Cortez will also put that information in the chat for you. Thank you, Ms. Gonzalez. What other questions might you have?
Well, we don't have any other questions at this time. So I would like to invite the participants, if you do have a question, please put it in the Q&A section and I will keep my eye out there. But one thing, just to say, Dr. Smith, to your community of schools participants here, a reminder about our wonderful resource of Discovery Ed, and especially with our Hispanic Heritage Month and our celebration of Latinx culture, there are many videos, resources, lessons, opportunities available for our families to engage in through Discovery Ed. And it's a free resource to all of our teachers, principals, and families.
Dr. Smith, hi. I was wondering if I could also invite all of your guests and all of the members here to our second town hall for our Latinx
Heritage Month. And it will be honoring board member Monica Garcia. So I know that you will post the flyer in social media, and the link is available on our flyer.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Please mark your calendar to join us for our entire series. As Ms. Cameron mentioned, board member Monica Garcia will be our next special guest on Monday. Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Ms. Gonzalez?
The final question that we'll ask here is there any information available yet for vaccines for children age 5 to 11?
That's a great question, Ms. Gonzalez. That is very new information. That information is not been vetted through Public Health Department, as we receive all of our information and guidelines through the Public Health Department. So that information is forthcoming, but I'm going to invite Mr. Cortez to see if there's any additional information he would like to add to that.
Thank you. And you, Dr. Smith, you're absolutely right. Those are developing news and developing systems. As soon as more information is released, then we will share district-wide, but also at our local town halls by community schools.
Thank you. And we're going to thank you, Ms. Gonzalez, for joining us this evening and responding to our questions. Ms. Gonzalez is our one of our 2 administrative of instruction, and I thank you for being here with us this evening as well. Next slide,
Thank you.
please.
My pleasure.
And please stay connected. Visit our website. The QR code is there. All of our latest information is located on our website. Our newsletter for September will launch tomorrow, so you would receive a copy of that. It'll be placed on our website as well. Our phone number is listed there. My email is cds999one@lausd. Please follow us on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. We're at MacPark, COS, on all 3 of those social media sites. Please follow us, all of our latest information. You also get an opportunity to explore opportunities when we visit schools and classrooms. So thank you again. Next slide. Please mark your calendar to join us next month on Tuesday, October 19th at 5:00 p.m. for our next community town hall, virtual town hall for the month of October. Next slide. And as always, thank you. Have a wonderful night. This is our information. This is our team. We are located, our new location, located at 10th Street Elementary School, 1000 Gratiot Street, Los Angeles, 90015. And remember, Dr. Smith loves you, and there's nothing you could do about it. Have a great evening. Goodbye.